So here's what it looks like, our completed harness. I've just got the radio sitting in here. We've got quite a bit more work to do to get this installed. I did plug it up, and the stuff I did plug up does seem to work. But we've got to do some trimming back in here. Yeah, and that's the seat creaking. We're going to have to trim this out. It's hitting here when I tried to slide the radio in. Yeah, we're losing our lights here. There we go. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and trim that out. We'll see if it fits. We may have to trim a little bit more out, depending on, we may have to trim some of this out. It just depends on, it almost fit in there, so I think just trimming this bulk right here out, it should fit. The metal brace and all that should be fine. I'll probably use that metal brace for my ground for the steering wheel controls. We've got a lot of stuff to fit in that small space right there. This is a bigger radio, plus we've got a lot more wires now, and control boxes and all this kind of stuff. So we got to fit this control box, which I'm going to put behind the instrument cluster, probably kind of right here in this little gap here. There's a metal bracket right there. I'll probably stick some double-sided tape on this. And actually, I think I want to face the speaker out, so I'll put some double-sided tape here, stick it up there, and then take a tie wrap and tie wrap it, and that'll hold that there. This is the one for the steering wheel controls. We'll have to plug that in to this harness coming off here, and we'll have, like I said, we'll have to do that ground. And I just kind of taped up all of our wires just to kind of clean it up a little bit, and then came off with our other harnesses as needed. We're going to need to ground this parking brake control, and I'm just going to leave this bundled for now. This is for my rear view camera, which I'm not hooking up yet. Actually, I'm not going to hook it up yet. No. I was going to say I might go ahead and run this over to the fuse box, but I'm not going to connect it up now, because without the rear view camera, I don't want the thing flipping to a blank camera without rear view. So I'll just leave that for now. I'm going to have to pull the radio out anyway to connect the camera up when I do that. So let me trim this out, and then we'll go from there. I also have an amp to install for the subwoofer, so we'll need to run the wires for that. I'm also going to tie into the DVD player. This is the aftermarket DVD player that runs this aftermarket screen, and so I'm going to tie into it and feed into here, and that way I can run, this has dual zone. I can put the rear speakers on playing audio through here, through the rear speakers, and then that leaves the front DVD player still free, so I can play CDs and stuff like that. So I decided to hook it up like that. This DVD player works great. I have no issues with it. It seems to work well. So I have no reason to remove it. I would have nothing to put in its space right there, so we'll leave it there and we'll go from there. And it's also, I don't know if it'll support more formats than this one will. I think it does support, I don't remember if it supports DivX and stuff like that. I don't remember. It was in here when I got it. But anyway, I'm rambling. Let me cut this out so we can start trying to get this stuff fit in here, and I need to run a few cables or cords down. I need to run a cord down for the amp. I need to run a cord up from this. I need to run my remote wire down, and then that should be good for now. And we will run, you know, reverse camera and stuff like that at a later date when I haven't purchased cameras or anything like that. So that'll be another stage of this install. So let's see if we can get this thing at least fitting in the hole right now. Oh, there is another thing I gotta run. My microphone. So I will run my microphone cord over here, and I'm going to try to run it up this A-pillar, and I may run it to right here and kind of clip it for right here for right now, bundle the excess down in here so that it will be easy if I need to. I can pull up slack to run it over. I thought about maybe eventually putting it over here, but I would need to pull the headliner, drop the headliner down just a little bit to get it above the headliner and through this console. So I'm not going to do that yet. My main concern here is wherever I put it, I want to make sure that when I swing my visor around, I don't hit it. And so it looks like if I put it right here, that should be out of the way. So I think that's what we're going to shoot for. Okay, so this pulls out. Just pull it out, kind of snaps in. So here's, of course I didn't put all this in, so it's got lots of splice connectors and stuff in it, but it works. Looks like they kind of hacked away at the dash to get that thing in there. Hope I do a better job than that. It's pretty hacked up, but I didn't know it was like that, so I guess it's not doing me any harm, because I didn't know about it. And I felt no negative impact of it. So here's what we got, and one of the reasons why I'm tying in to this for my auxiliary input is that it allows me to play stuff through here that can go through the screen and the speakers. I can also, this has front inputs, and I've got a remote for it, and I just hit the input button on here, and I can change it to these front inputs. That gives me a nice spot to plug stuff in, whereas if I wanted to plug stuff into the other stereo, I would need to put some plugs somewhere where I could get to them. So that's just kind of a nice setup there. This thing has a rear set of inputs if I wanted to use that. It also has digital out and as video. I'm going to split off of here, and I got a set of splitters, yellow, white, and red for the video and audio. And so we'll split coming out of here and go up to the head unit. So I'll have to snake cable down through there. I'm also going to have to get one down through to where I'm going to put the amp, which means we're going to need to disassemble some more. Depending on how much room is under here, I'm probably going to have to pull the Bose amp out to be able to fit my amp in. I'm planning on mounting my amp in the console. If there's room without pulling the Bose amp, then I'll probably just leave it in there. If not, I'll pull it out. So if I have to pull the Bose amp out, it's probably going to be best to remove the console, but we're going to do what we can to get a view of this without pulling the console out. So we're going to pull this panel off, then I'll try to pull the cup holders out. I think once I get the cup holders out, I may be able to get the storage bin out in here, and that should give me a decent view of what's underneath. So let me see what I can get done. So here we go. This is what we got, and my amp's fairly small. I think it will fit right in here without having to pull the Bose amp out, which it is under the console. I think to pull the Bose amp out, you would have to pull this thing completely out. So I may just try to tuck my amp in here. I've got a sewing needle right there. Be careful with that. We are going to have to find the wires that go to the subwoofer. So I think I can get down in there. I think they run along this side, and I can see what colors they are. See if I can figure that out. This panel, these are all just clips, so it just pulls out. Just be careful not to use too much force. You don't want to break them. The cup holder in the front, same way. In the back, it's the same way. There are screws in this console right here. You want to take these three out, and that allows this to lift up enough to get the cup holders out from under it. The cup holder part actually goes under here. I did take, there's 4 screws down in the bottom of here, 2 back here. I took all those out. I was going to try to pull this out, but I haven't been able to get this panel off. I think there's some screws. I pulled some screws out, but I think there's some more somewhere holding it on. So I don't think I need to take it out anyway, but we may end up if we need to. Keep losing my light. It shuts off after 10 minutes. So this is a mess of wiring from the whoever installed the screen. This goes up to the screen. This is power and video for the screen. So we'll try to clean up this stuff a little bit, tie wrap it and everything. Yeah. So let me go grab some cables so we can feed our cables through here. Almost forgot we were going to have to run some, well, I didn't forget, but I was overlooking it right now. We're going to have to run power for our amp. But I think a good start for today, not a start for today, or in today, is going to be to try to find out which wires are power for the amp. I mean, not power for the amp, but which wires are go to the subwoofer. This is all right. Let me see what I can find. All right, so down in here. Alright, see that? One. Not that wire. Not that one. Put that one back in there. That's the wire that goes to the Bose subwoofer. So I need to try to see what color that is. I might try to pull some of that insulation back. It's like a foam It's like that group of wires is wrapped in foam. But I did find a so-called wiring diagram, but I don't know if it's right. I can't find the colors that they're talking about. I don't know if they change colors somewhere. Here's what we've got. This is supposed to be going to coming from the amplifier. So it's a dual voice coil subwoofer. So we've got 2 positives, 2 negatives. So dark blue and white, light green and black, dark green, and a light blue and black. So supposedly, according to this diagram, that's what we're looking for. I have not found those yet. I did unplug the Bose amp connector, or I assume that's what this connector is. When I did so, my dash lights came on and the battery light illuminated. So as of right now, I will not pull out the Bose amp because it is interfacing with something. I guess the body control module or something. So we'll leave it connected. I just need to find the subwoofer wires and pull those out of this harness so that I can tie into those. So let me see if I can trace that. Like I said, I'm trying to not pull this whole console out. So let me see if I can figure out what color those are and then find them over here and cut them out of this harness and then tie into them for my and put them into my amp. So digging deeper, those I showed you all those bolts I took out. After a little bit of wiggling, I was able to just get the console out, kind of slide it forward a little bit and wiggle it out from under here, which looks like that's how it's intended to come out anyway, because you can't get this piece off without taking these bolts out, which we don't need to take that off anyway. So now we have access to our wires, and it looks like our subwoofer wires are going to be right in this connector here, and it looks like they will be those colors I was telling you about, because I found them, which is awesome, because we can tie into them without having to pull the console out. So we need a dark blue and white. So let's pull this connector out. This is the Bose amp down here. Oh, I probably should have done this before I started filming.